Alright guys, so we have a unit test tomorrow, so these are just a few more questions to help you study. The main thing you want to study though is what we did in class today. These are just a little extra questions to help us out. So for functions A, a function is shown in the table to the right. If included in the table, which ordered pair, -3, -1, or 1, -3, would result in a relation that is no longer a function? And explain your answer. Okay, so if I look at my table and I look at -3 and -1, alright, if I added these points to the table, if I added a new -3, -1, is it a function, yes or no? So based off this and this, these are the same. So when they are the same, it stays a function. So that is not our answer. So then when I look at the next point, -1, -3, I check those. Those are different points, okay? So they have the same x values with different outputs. That means it is no longer a function. So it would be no longer a function if we added -1, -3 to the table. Okay, and the reason for that is because the x repeats with different outputs. That's the most important part. Not only does the x repeat, but it repeats with different outputs. Because the -3 would also repeat, but it has the same output, so that's okay. Alright, so the answer to that one is -1, -3. Alright, now we're going to find the domain and the range in set notation. Alright, so domain is from left to right. Okay, so let's jot it down in words first, then we'll put it in set notation. So our domain is -1 through 6. So -1 through 6. Domain is the x, so x goes in the middle. And they're both closed circles, so my symbols are going to have the line under it. That's what set notation looks like. Alright, let's look at our range. Range is from the lowest point to the tallest point. Okay, so that's -2 and then 5. So -2 through 5, and range is y, and they're both closed again, so it would look like this. Okay? Lastly, which graph represents this scenario? Explain why. A man is driving 20 kilometers each hour for the first 3 hours. He stops at a restaurant for 1 hour. Then he turns back around and drives home. The drive home takes 2 hours. Okay, so I want to think of this as a little table. Okay? I'm going to make a little table off to the side. Where am I going to make this little table? Over here, I guess. Alright. So if this is our time, and this is our distance, okay, it says he's driving 20 kilometers each hour for the first 3 hours. So for 0 hours, he's at 0. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So it says he's going 20 each hour. So 20 plus 20 plus 20. So that means 20 for the first, 40 for the second, 60 for the third. So I'm looking at 3 hours. He's at 60. So 3 hours, he's at 60. That's true here. 3 hours, he's at 60. Is that true here? Okay. No, we need to be careful because it's 3 lines, but does each line represent an hour here? No, if we look at our axis at the bottom, this is only an hour and a half. This is 1.560. So that is not the graph that matches. All right, so I believe it's going to be this one, but let's just check the rest. He stops at a restaurant for 1 hour, so for 1 hour he stops. That's the same. That's good. And then it says his drive home takes 2 hours, hour 1, hour 2. Good. Okay, so the first graph represents the scenario because at hour 3, he should be at 60 kilometers. All right, make sure to study and good luck tomorrow.